I want to just highlight three kinds of fears in this conversation. One, the fear of failure. Now, the fear of failure is interesting because it is based on performance. It means that we base our worth on the ability to perform a certain way and the opinions of other people. I want to tell you that your self worth has to come from someplace other than your performance because we perform well some days and not well some other days. And so our self worth could be on a roller coaster, and many of ours are. Our worth is tied to who we are, though, not what we do. And your mistakes, your mishaps, your intentional bad decisions. Like sometimes we just got to admit, like I made that bad decision on purpose. That wasn't really a mistake. That was me just being me. Yeah, that part. When we make those decisions, they don't decrease our worthiness. They don't decrease our value. It's just what it means to be human. That's all. So there's the fear of failure, and when we stop believing the lie that we're only as valuable when we're doing something that matters to someone else, that's going to take us to a whole nother place. So we got this fear of failure, but we also have this fear of rejection, right? And the fear of rejection is like, it's our attempt to please others at any cost. It's us being overly sensitive to criticisms. It's withdrawing from others so that we avoid their disapproval. Y'all, the acceptance of unhealthy people cannot be the measuring stick of your worth. Hashtag, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, and so then that brings us to the third one. And this is the fear of punishment, right? And so the fear of failure is driven by performance. The fear of rejection is driven by relationship. But the fear of punishment is driven by guilt. See, when we are guilty or when others are guilty, right, we want punishment. Oh man, there's this thinking that says that when we make mistakes or when people make mistakes, they deserve punishment. And what's crazy is we think that about ourselves too. And so we'll go about the business of punishment because we think that punishment brings correction. But we have a whole penal system set up that's called the correctional facilities and correctional system, but it doesn't really bring correction because punishment never corrects. And because it doesn't, what happens is we begin to blame. We blame others for our own personal failures. And I'm telling you, we will use punishment to try to control others or to try to get them to comply with what we want. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of punishment. So what does this look like in our everyday lives? Here are some examples. Perfectionism, like that desperate attempt to avoid low self-esteem at the hands of failure, right? Oh, I got to cross every T, dot every I. Everything's got to be just right because this is something I can control. So this way I don't have to deal with feeling bad. Or it's risk avoidance, right? We only engage in those things in which we're good at. We only engage in those things that we do well at the expense of creativity and development and growth and all the other things. Yeah, we just do what's comfortable. Or pride. Oh, sometimes the self-exaltation that is presented is just a mirage. It is a front to hide behind fear and insecurity. Or what about procrastination? Procrastination is the avoidance of completing a task because we think maybe we're incompetent, we're underprepared, or we risk being exposed. Good Lord. Whew. Guilty of that one right there. Procrastination. Man, and then low motivation. What's interesting about low motivation is that it may appear to be laziness, but in all reality, it's helplessness. No, I'm sorry, not helplessness, hopelessness. Because there's a difference between those two. It's not that I can't be helped, it's that I don't have hope that this could work out. Hmm. And then the last one is addictions. Like, it's the way in which we numb ourselves to the pain and fear of life. Whether it's alcohol or drugs, whether it's Netflix binging, or super scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, Snap, you got it. It's shopping, it's sex, it's all the things that we do to try to numb ourselves from the pain of our life. Hmm. It's not an exhaustive list, this perfectionism, this risk avoidance, this pride, procrastination, low motivation, and addictions. But what's interesting about all of these is at the core of all of this is the base of all of this, is avoidant behaviors based on fear. And so our fears have a way of distorting our reality. We experience discomfort in life. And if we are not careful, we allow fear to distort that for us and take us to unhealthy places. As a matter of fact, Brene Brown says this: sometimes the more uncomfortable learning is the most powerful. The most uncomfortable learning is the most powerful. In other words, when I go through things and I experience discomfort, like, man, I learn. But if I avoid discomfort, then what happens is I avoid the learning. As a matter of fact, we expend so much energy on avoiding discomfort that we rob ourselves of the lessons we can learn from it. We used to tell our sons that struggle is good. They would be struggling with something that was difficult, whether it was schoolwork or a relationship or something in sports or something in life. They were just struggling. And we would say struggle is good. I still believe that struggle is good. In school, we call it productive struggle. It's when I'm working towards mastery of something, I'm working towards getting better at something, and I experience struggle, and I just keep at it because it's getting me closer to the accomplishment of something. And when you determine that you're not going to make any mistakes or that you're going to avoid discomfort, it can paralyze you.